Welcome to NarrativeNook audio tales where enchanted stories come to life. If you enjoy our stories, please subscribe, like and share to support our channel. Enjoy listening.
It's our turn now since you've given her your gift already, Lulu teased. Of course, Stanley said, not in the least surprised by how others had come to know about Tia's birthday. He felt that Nicole knew that today was Tia's birthday, and that she had seen her plan to surprise from a mile away. If his guess was correct, Nicole had informed others of the occasion and its purpose. "You've all prepared gifts too?" Tia asked, her eyes widening in surprise. The last thing she had expected him to do was throw her a surprise party by inviting all of their close friends to celebrate her birthday this year. The only other thing she did not see coming was that they had shown up bearing gifts. "Of course we did. Preparing gifts is a must for such an important occasion," Lulu replied, before handing her gift to Tia. After everyone had given the items they had prepared to Tia, Preston lowered his head awkwardly and apologized. "Sorry, I didn't prepare any." "Did no one tell you?" Samuel asked, a little taken aback. He knew the kind of person Preston was, and that the latter coming empty-handed was a result of him being genuinely oblivious to the purpose of this occasion rather than being a cheapskate. "Yeah, no one did," Preston said, his eyes downcast. He wondered why everyone was aware of Tia's birthday except for him. Seizing the opportunity to tease him, Lulu raised her eyebrows. "Well, maybe it's because you don't have a girlfriend?" They had gotten to know about Tia's birthday through frequent and casual chats with one another. Nobody had made any official announcements, so they had accidentally forgotten to inform Preston. "Are you trying to eat my heart out?" Preston argued. After all, it was not his fault that he did not have a girlfriend, and Lulu's jibes at the dinner table had only served to embarrass him further. "Well, that's unlikely," Lulu said, shrugging her shoulders. "I was just reminding you that you still have a responsibility to shoulder." Understanding what Lulu was implying, Preston helplessly turned to Nicole. His eyes narrowed in discomfort. "Can you count me out like you did for Ella? I'm begging you." If they continued mounting all of that pressure on him, he would find the responsibility too overwhelming for him to shoulder. Frowning, Ella retorted in disapproval. "Hey, I'm not throwing anyone under the bus here. Besides, I'll soon have a girlfriend." After he had said his piece, Ella unconsciously glanced over at Patricia. "If Patricia won't be my girlfriend, I'll stay single forever." Preston's expression soured in an instant, and he murmured, "Why do I feel like I'm the only one being left out?" That one single sentence from him got the entire crowd roaring and guffawing, making the atmosphere in the room even merrier than it had been. Amid the gales of roaring laughter, Patricia was the only one who remained solemn. Her head was hanging low, as if she was lost in thought. She had seen through Ella's intentions, but she did not know how to proceed without scarring him in the process. She was thinking of ways to let Ella know that they could never be a couple. "Sorry, I didn't know it was your birthday today." "I have not prepared anything for you either," Cindy suddenly admitted. However, she did not regret her choice of following Martin over. She even went on to glare at him, resenting him for not telling her what the celebration was all about. If he had done so, she would have prepared something. "Oh, it's all right. No worries," Tia said, pleasantly surprised by the fresh, new face before her. "I'll make it up to you the next time," Cindy promised, feeling that it was the best she could do to not be rude. Shaking her head, Tia instantly declined the offer. "There's really no need for that. I really am happy that everyone is here today." Being the only young woman in her early 20s at the table, this was Tia's first birthday celebration of such a grand scale, which had been nothing short of lively. To make things better, she even got to celebrate it with so many close friends and Stanley himself. It would be hard for her to not be satisfied by what they had done for her this evening. No, Cindy insisted. Tia raised her hand, about to further her objections when Martin stopped her. "It's all right, Tia." Martin knew Cindy would definitely make it up to her if she wanted to. After having spent a decent amount of time with Cindy, Martin had gotten to know how stubborn she was. Tia hesitated, turning to Stanley. Stanley gave Tia's hand a squeeze and said to Cindy, "There's really no need for any gifts. You're more than welcome to join our next gathering if you like." "Whoa, really? Does that mean we're friends too?" Cindy exclaimed, becoming even more excited as she had no friends here. "Of course. Just come whenever you want," Lulu chimed in. "I would love to." Cindy nodded. "Oh gosh. I'm so happy to be your friend." She had left her native country and traveled all the way to San Joto for Martin, but the prospect of being able to make more friends delighted her, nonetheless. "I'll remember to hit you up the next time we gather," Lulu said. She then turned to Martin and asked, "Will you join us next time?" Everyone proceeded to stare at Martin, taking him aback. Feeling awkward and uncomfortable, he answered, "I'll see how things go." Martin would usually be indifferent to casual gatherings, but should the occasion be a special one, he would make it a point to show up. After shooting him a meaningful glance, everyone looked away, not wanting to pressure him into coming along. With a casual laugh, they turned their attention back to Cindy. "Although there's no guarantee he is coming, you'll have to." "Ah, you bet I'll be there," Cindy promised, looking forward to the next meetup already. As they chatted, Cindy took the opportunity to tell Tia that she would make up for her birthday gift once again, making everyone burst into laughter. They could tell how determined Cindy was, and they found her gesture to be rather cute. Tia laughed along, having given up on the idea of declining Cindy's offer. She knew that Cindy would just hand her the gift, no matter what she did to refuse. After thanking everyone personally, Tia stood up and expressed her gratitude to the crowd. "Thank you everyone for coming to my birthday celebration." She knew everyone had kept her in the dark to throw her a surprise party, one with which she was absolutely happy. "Don't mention it, Tia. We'll be family soon anyway." "That's right. Ha ha ha." Tia could not help but blush at remarks directed at her. But that was not all there was to the evening. It was then that Stanley stood up and wrapped his hand around hers. "Follow me." "Huh, where to?" Tia said, tilting her head in confusion. Still, she stood up and followed Stanley away from the table. They approached the small stage set up in the restaurant. As the two stood in position, the ambient lights in the restaurant dimmed. About a second later, a spotlight above shone upon them, its red beam making the couple the only highlight in the restaurant. Not knowing what Stanley was going to do, Tia nervously asked, "Hey, Stanley?" All of a sudden, Stanley produced a bouquet of red roses from his back and gradually got down on one knee. Then he confessed, "Tia, it was my fault in the past for stalling and not giving us both a chance. Now, let me tell you that you're the only woman I'll marry and live the rest of my life with you. Will you marry me?" Tia was completely dumbstruck, her eyes welling up with tears as she realized that Stanley was proposing to her. It was like a dream come true to Tia, one she could not even muster a response to. "Tia, come on. Marry him. Don't hesitate, Tia." Everyone's cheers and words of encouragement slowly reached Tia, gradually giving her the courage to collect herself and lock eyes with Stanley. Meeting his affectionate gaze, Tia bit her lips, and after a few seconds, she finally nodded. "Yes. Gladly." After receiving the bundle of roses, Tia wrapped her hand around Stanley's and helped him up. With his eyes still locked with tears, Stanley produced a velvet box from his pocket. After opening it, he took a diamond ring out and gently placed it on Tia's left ring finger. "Oh my gosh, congratulations. Finally, you've taken a load off everyone's mind." Everyone congratulated the couple with joy, though they did not forget to complain about how long they had waited for this day to arrive. Tia's cheeks reddened from the fanfare, while Stanley caressed her hair, smoothing them for her. "I'm truly thankful we didn't slip past each other," he said. Stanley would often still cringe thinking about how foolish he was to put Tia at the sidelines. Fortunately, everything had played out the way they wanted now, and from this point onward, they were going to be together forever. With the proposal over with, the restaurant's ambient lights returned to normal, and Stanley led Tia back to the dining table. "My gosh. Well, you two didn't have it easy," Lulu said, almost driven to the point of tears. Tia's cheeks were still maroon from all the shyness and nervousness she had been feeling from the past minute. Knowing that she was in no condition to respond to anyone, Stanley held her in his arms and said to Lulu, "It was indeed a tough road. Hee hee. Cherish her forever, okay?" Lulu teased. Solemn and unsmiling, Stanley nodded. "I will." "Stanley," Tia called out, pulling his shirt in embarrassment. As it was time for them to proceed, Nicole looked at them with a wide grin on her face. "All right, settle down, guys. Let's all take a seat and prepare to dine in." With that, the waiters gradually served everyone their dishes, allowing them to chat while enjoying the food. It was an eventful night to say the least, and once everyone had gotten their bellies filled, they returned home. The couples then filed out of the restaurant hand in hand, leaving Preston, who looked like a forlorn beggar on a rainy day, to approach Nicole. "It seems that I am the only one left to send you home. Do I have the honor, milady?" Preston felt more comfortable sending Nicole back, for the alternative was following all the lovey-dovey couples home. Amused, Nicole looked at him with a smirk and agreed, "Sure thing. Let's get going first. I do not want to see them." "It's just heartbreaking, to be honest," Preston let out, eager to leave. Without skipping a beat, Nicole teased, "Have you ever stopped to consider that you might be the one giving us heartache?" Indeed, everyone was walking in pairs, save for Preston, who was left to sulk on his own. Stunned and wide-eyed, Preston began to whine. "Ah, come on. Don't tell me you're going to bang my balls for that too." "Ha ha ha, come on," Nicole laughed, and made her way to Preston's car with its owner following from behind. "Ms. Riddle," Patricia called out, wanting to follow Nicole home. But before she could, Ella grabbed her arm and said, "I think it's better if you stay back." Nicole must have something to discuss with Preston. Patricia raised her eyebrows, not convinced by Ella's explanation. "And how do you know that?" "If they have nothing to talk about, my brother-in-law would have come," Ella confidently stated, shrugging his shoulders. If Nicole had not reminded Jared to not pick her up, Jared would surely have shown up to bring her home. Patricia paused, and after deciding that what Ella said made sense, she stopped in her tracks. Then, she turned around to meet Ella's gaze and announced, "If there's nothing else, I'm heading home too." "I'll send you home," Ella said, hurriedly following suit. "No thanks," Patricia declined. Ella, remaining as persistent as always, followed her. Lulu could not help but shake her head as she observed their antics. "Can Ella handle it?" He should be fine, I guess." June answered with uncertainty as she frowned. Although the two seemed quite compatible, and there appeared to be chances of a budding romance, there was still an air of uncertainty surrounding them. Spencer and Samuel pulled their respective wives over. "Don't worry about them. Let's go back and rest." "Hey, we were just talking," Lulu said, smiling at Spencer. They were concerned about Ella and Patricia, but deep down, they knew that it was not their place to interfere with other people's business. All they could do was wait and see how it would unfold. "Let's go," Cindy said, pulling Martin over as everyone began to go home. Martin, uncomfortable with being touched, broke free from Cindy's grasp. "All right." Shrugging her shoulders, Cindy went on to bid her farewells to the Riddles. "We'll get going now. Please remember to call me over next time." "You can leave that to me," Lulu promised. She then flashed Cindy the good luck sign, telling her not to give up on pursuing Martin. Cindy smiled and nodded in understanding, before turning around to catch up to Martin. "Are they going to be a thing?" June asked, unfamiliar with Cindy and her situation. "I'm not sure, but I don't think it will be an easy road to walk," Lulu let out, feeling that Cindy would need a fair amount of patience and determination to be with Martin. "Come on," Spencer urged, taking Lulu away before the women could start gossiping again. Allowing Spencer to lead her away to the car, she glanced back over her shoulder and waved at the rest of the crowd. "Bye, guys. See you around," June replied, and linked her arm to Samuel's. "Let's go." "Sure thing," Samuel agreed with an affectionate smile. Samuel and June then headed off to their cars after saying their goodbyes to Stanley and Tia. Now, there were only 2 people left at the entrance of the restaurant, giving the surroundings an empty feel to it. However, both Stanley and Tia were still feeling warm in their hearts. With her bouquet of roses in hand, Tia murmured, "Why do I still have a feeling that I'm dreaming?" Deep down, Tia knew it was not a dream, even though it was hard for her to believe that, as she and Stanley had truly become one following the marriage proposal she had accepted about an hour ago. Whatever happened next, the new couple would have to face it together for many years down the line. "Silly girl," Stanley caressed Tia's head. "Let's go home." "Okay." Tia nodded and followed Stanley to their car. "Please don't forget to join us for breakfast tomorrow morning," Stanley reminded her. Shocked for a moment, she asked, "Why?" "And bring Mrs. Wallace Sr. along," Stanley reminded her without answering her question. With her eyes still on her new husband, Tia frowned and stopped to think for a moment. Then, the realization of what he was up to dawned upon her. "Why don't we wait for 2 more days?" Tia had finally figured out why Stanley wanted her and Mrs. Wallace Sr. to join him and the rest of his family for breakfast tomorrow. She was so anxious about tomorrow's meeting with Stanley's parents that her heart began to race. Although meetings between them were frequent, the one due to happen tomorrow carried with it a special significance. It would be her first time addressing the pair of Daniel and Gloria as future parents-in-law, and this knowledge made her inexplicably nervous. Knowing what Tia was thinking, Stanley gently wrapped his hand around hers and comforted her. "Don't worry. They have been waiting for this day forever. Need I remind you that they will start arranging blind dates for me if I don't bring my girlfriend back to them?" Tia knew Stanley was right, so she gritted her teeth and nodded in agreement. "All right then." Although Tia was nervous about the meeting tomorrow, the last thing she wanted was for Stanley to be thrown into another blind date. Chuckling, Stanley then started the car and brought her home. Meanwhile, Preston was still in the midst of driving Nicole back home. "Are you serious about waiting for me to get myself a girlfriend before carrying your wedding ceremony out?" Preston asked, quivering in fear. Preston felt that it would be unlikely for Nicole to do so, but he needed Nicole's reassurance to get his much-needed peace of mind. He needed to hear it from her, and he did not want to hold her back. Above all, he did not wish to meet the piercing gaze that Jared always had in his eyes in all of their encounters, for they had never failed to make him shudder. Nicole could not help but smile at how ridiculous yet valid his concern was. "Come on, dude. That's just an excuse I came up with to comfort Nolan and Lana." In reality, her marriage would concern nobody but herself and Jared. No one else would be able to exert any sort of meaningful influence on the wedding. "That's great." Preston issued a sigh of relief. Everything would be fine as long as he did not have a hand to play on whether the wedding ceremony happened or not. Taking on a more serious look now, Nicole looked at Preston and added, "But you should really start thinking about your own love life." "Yeah, I will," Preston replied. He did not want to suffer the torture of being the only single person in the room every time he hung out with them. Being around these lovebirds while they harped on the idea that he needed to find someone soon was agonizing to say the least. Nicole then smirked and shook her head. She thought it would be a good idea to just remind him about it, instead of poking her nose into his business. Then, she shifted the topic of conversation. "I've got something to talk to you about." "What is it?" Preston asked in a serious tone of voice. He knew that Nicole would never sit him down for a discussion if the matter in question was a trivial one. After pausing for a while, Nicole said, "Once we reach home, you should follow me in and have a look." "Oh, okay," Preston replied. When they arrived at the Riddle residence, the both of them got down from the car and entered the house. There was no one in the living room, indicating that they must have all returned to their respective rooms and gotten ready for bed. Nicole did not bother to disturb Daniel and Gloria. Instead, she brought Preston up to the second floor right away. When they reached Nolan's room, the duo saw Nolan playing the very same game he had been engrossed with for the past few months. Meanwhile, Jared and Lana were sitting beside Nolan, their eyes trained on the computer screen. Hearing that someone had entered, Nolan, Lana and Jared whirled around to look at them in unison. "Hello, Mommy." "Hello, Uncle Preston." Nolan and Lana greeted them. "Why did you bring me to Nolan's room?" Preston asked in confusion. He was wondering what Nicole was trying to do. Without giving him a direct answer, Nicole walked up to the computer and said, "Have a look at this." While Preston proceeded to study the game with its intricate level designs, Nicole explained, "We've studied this game and confirmed that there's something wrong with it. But we don't have a single clue about what the developers' motives are. There's still no evidence." "You don't have any evidence? Does that mean you guys know who the person is?" Preston asked. "I've got a rough guess, yes." Nicole's eyes darkened, wishing that the perpetrator was not who she thought he was. Understanding what Nicole was trying to convey, Preston nodded and asked, "What do you want me to do?" "So, here's the thing," Nicole replied. "When we began analyzing the game, we discovered that all levels must be completed, and that's what the developer wants us to do. However, Nolan can't clear the game on his own, no matter how many stages he completes, so I'll have to step in to help him out." "You want me to help him clear the stages?" Preston asked. Nicole shook her head and clarified, "No, I need you to assist me." "Oh, okay." Preston replied without any objections. "Tell me, what should I do?" No matter what task it was, or how difficult it was, Preston would try his best to complete it as long as it was a request from Nicole. "Recently, I've come to realize that we might have thought lightly about these levels," Nicole said, attempting to explain what was on her mind. Nicole had decided to take this matter seriously, so after some careful consideration, she had decided to enlist Preston's help. Previously, she thought that all they needed to do was clear the stages and discover the developer's motives behind each stage, whereupon they would be able to proceed with finding the solution. After all, they would never come to know what the developer was up to if they did not complete the levels. However, while Nicole was completing the levels, she could not shake the feeling that there was something fishy about the game design as a whole. On the surface, it seemed as if they had to work very hard to get past all the stages. But there were also moments when Nicole felt that someone was controlling the variables and monitoring the game progress remotely. If such was the case, Nicole doubted if she did not think it through from the very beginning. After hearing Nicole's thoughts on the matter, Preston cautiously replied, "You mean that instead of crossing the levels without any sort of help, it seems that someone has been guiding you through the stages from the shadows?" "Yes." Nicole nodded. "It definitely feels like that." After giving it some consideration, Preston hazarded a guess. This means that the application which they have sent Nolan consists of two separate entities. One is on the surface, which is the game Nolan is playing, and the other is a hidden software. Upon further analysis, Nicole deduced that the hidden software should be the one the developer was looking to crack. They're waiting for you to complete it so that they can swoop in and steal your final result. Jared's cold and calm voice blared out. Jared's theory made Preston's eyes widen at an instant. "That's right. It should be just like what you've predicted. Because of this very possibility, I've brought you here to help me out," Nicole said in a serious tone. "I need someone to create a separate software to track them." Although Nicole could create it herself, she was running short on time. Thus, she had decided to enlist Preston's help in hopes that it would expedite the process. And once he had thought about it for a second or two, Preston replied, "Let's do it this way. Leave this entire case to me. You should just sit and wait." "Huh." Nicole frowned. "Preston wants to take on this task on his own?" "I'm aware that you wish to expedite the process, and that's why you are asking for my help. Don't worry, I won't be working alone. I'll get Ryder and Gary to help me out." Preston paused for a moment. "Since your enemies already have their eyes on you, it's best for you to keep a low profile. Otherwise, you might alert them," he continued. "If Preston worked on it with Ryder and Gary, those people would not be able to discover what they were up to, not easily at least. Furthermore, by doing so, they could also make Nicole's plan a success. All right. If you need anything, you are always welcome to seek us out at Johnston Group. I have a team who will always be available to assist you. Jared agreed, offering his help. Nicole nodded. That's a good idea. After all, it will be glaringly obvious if I try to do anything on my own. We'll stick to your plan then. Send a copy of this to me. I'll contact Ryder and Gary once I'm back home, and we'll work on it as soon as possible. Preston promised in complete seriousness, as he understood the urgency of the situation at hand. All right, Nicole replied. After she had sent Preston off, Nicole forwarded a copy of the game to him. Then she turned around and looked at Nolan. How is it today? Not much progress. Nolan shook his head and sighed. I followed the instructions you've given, but the results were messy. It's good that everything is messy, actually. After all, it is supposed to serve as an initial line of defense against our enemies. I've also chosen the safest yet most difficult approach, Nicole explained, elucidating why Nolan's struggle was understandable. Nolan nodded vigorously. I know. I'll make sure to practice hard. He understood that this was a new method his mother had taught him, so he would definitely try his best to master it. Smiling, Nicole patted Nolan's head gently. It's getting late. You should go to bed. Okay. Nolan nodded and made a beeline for the bathroom. Jared then brought Lorna out of the room. Her eyes had been heavy with sleep ever since about an hour ago, but due to the fact that she had insisted on waiting for Nicole to return, she did not go to bed. After the kids had fallen asleep, Nicole and Jared returned to their room. You've realized it for a while now, haven't you? Nicole asked Jared. You mean the part where they're planning to steal your results? Jared replied, knowing what Nicole was talking about. Well, I've had that guess for a while now. After Nicole had brought it up again today, Jared was even more certain that his guess was right, and that he was not just spouting a theory with little to no basis in facts. What do you think about it? Nicole's gaze turned dark. Jared held her palms, and after a slight pause he posited. If he really is the one behind it, then it's very likely that he's trying to get you to secure the water crest for him. Nicole widened her eyes and gritted her teeth. God damn it. I thought so too. If Lawrence was truly the one behind all of this, her explanations about the puzzles thus far would make perfect sense. Lawrence had attained the water crest, but he had not been able to crack its failsafe and become its bearer, and due to him being unable to seek Nicole's help directly, he had turned to giving Nolan a modified version of the interface masked as a game as his last resort. After all, Lawrence knew Nicole and Nolan well enough to come up with a strategy that capitalized on their strengths. Lawrence had also probably thought that Nolan would forever keep his secrets, making it difficult, if not impossible for them to learn of his true intentions from the boy. If it was in the past, Lawrence would only have to ask a few simple questions to gain a full idea of their progress and the situation they were in, granting him relative ease with achieving his goals. But now that things did not go his way anymore, he had resorted to elaborate trickery. Little did Lawrence know that Nolan would not tell him about his recent discoveries, allowing him to think that Nicole and the rest had not caught on to anything fishy just yet. In the meantime, you should let Nolan continue what he's doing. Don't make any moves for now. As for the application, leave it to Preston. Once he's done, we'll proceed, Jared said with a serious look etched on his face. They would not grant Lawrence this victory no matter the cost. Moreover, the water crest had finally resurfaced, so it would be a good idea for them to secure it. Jared then turned to Nicole, his gaze softening. Up to this day, no one had successfully become the bearer of two Rebbe family crests at the same time. Perhaps Nicole could be the first in history, and he had faith she would be able to if she wanted to. As her head was pounding, Nicole had decided to give this matter a rest for the night. After giving him a brief nod, she dragged him to bed. The next morning, the sun was warm and bright. It was about 7:30 in the morning, and the dining room was a sight to behold, with all of the Riddles gathering at the table and chatting away in high spirits. In addition to those who would regularly show up for breakfast there, Tia and Mrs. Wallace Sr. were there as well. As it turned out, Stanley had formally made his relationship with Tia known to Mrs. Wallace Sr. and his parents, Gloria and Daniel. Great. That's great. Mrs. Wallace Sr. beamed, naturally happy about it. She was one of the first to know about Tia's feelings towards Stanley. Gloria nodded vigorously in elation. This is definitely good news. I guess you have nothing to worry about now. Daniel laughed and turned to Gloria. Yeah, I don't have to worry about it anymore. Gloria sighed, after which she looked at the new couple. About the wedding, when are you guys planning to have it? Having never given it any thought, Tia lowered her head in embarrassment. Mom, although Tia has said yes, I'm thinking of putting the wedding on hold in the meantime. Stanley replied. Although he too wished to marry Tia as soon as possible, they would be in too much of a rush if they planned to have their wedding this month. What are you guys waiting for? Since you've proposed, choose a date and prepare for the wedding. Gloria frowned, growing impatient. Mom, there really isn't a need to rush into it. I want to give Tia some time. Stanley disagreed. They had just made their relationship official, so he wanted to give Tia some time to calm down. As the both of them had decided to be together, nothing would change. Therefore, there was no need to rush the wedding. Stanley's main concern was that Tia, being the jittery, nervous wreck she was, would be overwhelmed if they held the ceremony as soon as possible. Yeah, we're not in a rush, Tia echoed, not knowing what to say. What a fool. Gloria sighed in irritation. How can you not be in a rush for it? There are a ton of preparations to be made. You'll have to think about the house as well. There aren't any suitable houses for you guys in this neighborhood, but I can't just force you guys to pick one, can I? Mom, Tia and I will be staying here. Stanley smiled as he looked at Gloria. Tia and I have discussed it before, and we've decided to stay here. Are you guys serious about this decision? But Gloria hesitated for a moment. The rest of her children had their own houses, and it was tradition that they would all move out once they were married. Yes, we've set our mind on it. Stanley smiled and said, we wish to stay here. That way, the house will still be as lively as ever. Besides, it'll be convenient for US to take care of you and Grandma. You don't have to worry about Grandma and US. Once you and Tia get married, someone else will take care of Grandma, Gloria argued, worried that Stanley and Tia had only decided not to move out because of Mrs. Wallace Sr. We've really thought it through, Stanley insisted, even though he understood what Gloria's concerns were. While they were on the subject, Tia chimed in. Yes, I want to continue taking care of Grandma. Although Nicole had hired her to be Mrs. Wallace Sr.'s caretaker, their relationship had evolved over the years. They had grown to be very tight-knit now, much like a grandmother and her granddaughter. Owing to all those years of care, Tia was certain that Mrs. Wallace Sr. would be more comfortable with her habits and her company. That's right. It'll be more comfortable for the both of us if we stay here. Stanley nodded. Seeing that the two of them were determined to stick around, Gloria looked at Daniel in helplessness, as if to ask for his opinion on the matter. If the kids have no objections to sticking around, we'll respect their wishes. Daniel replied. Gloria and Daniel did not wish to deprive Tia of the new home she deserved, but if it was her wish to stay here with them, they would offer their unconditional support. We're fine with it, Tia immediately replied. Everyone turned to look at Tia, whereupon they burst out laughing, causing her to blush in shyness once more. All right, we'll go along with what you guys have decided then. Gloria added. The both of you will continue staying here. As for the wedding planning, we'll start working on it for the both of you. We'll let you decide on the date. Now that Stanley and Tia's relationship was stable, Gloria and Daniel could finally enjoy their peace of mind. In fact, they were not really in a rush to get them married, as Stanley had found someone he loved at long last. With that in mind, they had decided to give the couple the freedom of choosing the date of their ceremony. After Gloria had spoken, she turned to look at Tia with a smile. I wasn't expecting this, but it's amazing that the both of you finally found each other. Oh, this is great. Gloria. Tia blushed again and lowered her head in shyness. I agree. My wish for Tia's future has finally been granted. Mrs. Wallace Sr. said, her eyes wet with tears. Gloria, on the other hand, was grinning from ear to ear as she said, even though it's the kids' decision, I don't think it's a bad idea for them to stay here now that I think about it. Although we don't really need them to take care of us, the house will at least be much livelier with them around. Once Nicole and Jared had completed their ceremony, they would move out of the family home and to the one next door. The rest of them had also gotten married and shifted to their respective houses, so it would not be a stretch to say that the Riddle residence would be rather empty without them here. With Stanley and Tia around, however, Gloria and Daniel would not be as lonely. I think Mrs. Wallace Sr. should move in with us once Stanley and Tia are married. That way, it'll be easier for everyone to meet each other, Daniel suggested. However, Mrs. Wallace Sr. waved her hands, begging to disagree. I'm accustomed to the tranquility and silence there. I'll just remain in the house at the back. You guys are welcome to pay more frequent visits, though. It's a walking distance, after all. While everyone was chatting away, they began discussing future plans. Strangely enough, Tia was starting to feel less shy and nervous around them. And when it was almost time to leave, she got up, prepared to send Nolan and Lana to school. I'll come with you. Stanley got up and followed after her and the two little ones. Luna, another caretaker, then came over, brought Mrs. Wallace Sr. to the house at the back, and took care of her. Nicole and Jared were prepared to leave for work, but the moment they stood up, Gloria said, Nicole, about Tia's arrangements, do you think she feels a weight on her shoulders, and that's why she wants to continue staying here? Gloria genuinely did not wish to deprive Tia of the things she deserved because she genuinely loved Tia. With a smile on her face, Nicole replied, Don't worry, we'll just go along with Stanley and Tia's arrangements. Hearing this, Gloria calmed down. All right, I just want to make sure that Tia doesn't feel as if she is lesser than us or anything. That's my only concern. Indeed, this was Gloria's only concern. Nothing else would be a problem for her. You should just relax and prepare for their wedding. I'm sure they won't be able to wait for too long. Nicole smiled and advised. Then, she held Jared's hand and walked out of the house with him. Though Gloria was stunned at first, she quickly came to her senses and beamed. The wedding is happening really soon, right? I guess so. Daniel returned her smile. Well, since Stanley and Tia will be staying with us, I think we should clean the house up, especially Stanley's room. We must renovate the couple's room and refurbish everything. Let's give them a new set of furniture and decorations. Gloria began to plan. If you're going to renovate the room, where is Stanley going to stay? Daniel asked. He can sleep in Samuel or Spencer's room for the time being as long as he isn't going to step foot in that room of his before the wedding. That room of his will be renovated and reserved for the wedding. We must clean it up, she replied. Seeing how excited Gloria was, Daniel smiled and patted her on the back in support. All right, we'll go according to your plan. Gloria then beamed and began planning on ways to renovate Stanley's room. Meanwhile, Nicole and Jared, who had long since left the house, were on the road en route to their workplaces. Preston told me he just arrived at the headquarters of Finley Group. He's discussing the plan with Ryder and Gary, Nicole said in a low voice after she had caught a glimpse of the message on her screen. Yeah, with the three of them working together, the process should be quick. Jared replied, calm and collected. Nicole bit her lips and sighed. I don't know why. I can't help but feel that the more we progress, the more stressed out I am. Knowing how Nicole must be feeling, Jared wrapped his hand around hers. If you give in now, you'll just be doing yourself a disservice. I'm not giving in. I just feel a little sorry for the way things are now. Nicole shook her head. For her relationship with Lawrence to deteriorate to the point that they could not even be friends anymore was something she had neither expected nor wanted. It's human nature to only care about one's personal gains and interests. There's nothing new about it. That's the reality of the world we live in. Jared offered, his face drooping in profound sadness, for he too had experienced his share of betrayals, from his own uncle no less. Yeah. Nicole nodded. She had resolved that if there was nothing she could do to remedy the situation, the only option left for her was to face her adversaries head-on. As the car continued plodding ahead, Nicole fixed her gaze on the scenery outside, and from her deep-set eyes, she got lost in thought. All Jared could do at that moment was hold her hands in an effort to comfort her. Meanwhile, in the CEO's office of Finley Group, Ryder and Gary were left in a state of shock and disbelief. With serious looks on each of their faces, they asked, "Are you being real? Do I look like I'm joking?" Preston rolled his eyes at both of them. The idea that he would travel all the way there early in the morning just to pull a prank on them was ludicrous at best. "It's not that. I'm just shocked." Gary shrugged his shoulders, his eyes wild and wide. "But all of these are just our guesses. It's down to us to search for solid answers." Preston reminded the Finley brothers. "All right. We'll do our very best, as Nicole truly needs our help," Gary promised, his eyes burning with determination. Ryder nodded in tandem. "If this is something that concerns Nicole, we must lend her a helping hand. It's great to have you guys as friends." Preston sighed, happy and grateful to have them around. Then, the three of them began to discuss how they were going to create the application. Once they had gotten a rough direction of what their next step was going to be, they began to delegate the tasks to everyone. Once everything had been settled, the three of them looked at each other, their eyes shining with confidence. "All right, we'll proceed with this. One more thing." Ryder paused for a moment and suggested, "We can consider baiting and switching." Frowning, Preston asked, "You mean?" "Yes. Since they were the ones who started this, why don't we use what they have developed to the fullest extent and hide the actual results?" Ryder clarified. By handing their adversaries a set of false results, the latter would not be able to make use of it to crack the code and gain access to the watercrest. "That's a good idea." Preston and Gary nodded right away. After they had conducted a few more rounds of discussion, Preston left the headquarters of Finley Group and made his way to Riddle Corporation. Upon arrival, he knocked on Nicole's door and entered her office. Seeing that it was Preston, Nicole widened her eyes in surprise. "Why are you here? You can't be here to ask for a free lunch, right?" After all, it was almost lunch hour. "There are some issues, so I thought of coming over to inform you about them." Preston began, and proceeded to explain the outcome of his discussion with Ryder and Gary. Nicole nodded. "Initially, I had this idea too, but it's above my pay grade. I was worried we'd alert them, so I decided to forego the idea. Since we're the ones doing it, they won't realize a thing," Preston explained. At the end of the day, their adversaries had their eyes on nobody but Nicole. They would not discover anything if they did not look hard enough. After giving it some thought, Nicole nodded. "You may proceed as you guys have discussed. Just give it a shot. But remember this. You must keep your wits about you. Don't worry, we know what the situation is like. If we can't pull it off, well, give up," Preston replied. "All right," Nicole said. She knew that Preston and the Finley brothers were rational and pragmatic individuals, connoting that they should be able to navigate around the issue with little hiccups along the way. It was noon by the time the duo in the office were done with their little discussion, so Nicole invited Preston to stay for lunch. Coincidentally, Lulu had just entered the office as well, so the three of them went out together. It did not take them long to find a restaurant that was to their liking, so they pulled up, sat down, and ordered their meals as soon as they did. "Why did you visit our office today?" Lulu asked Preston out of curiosity. "I was just passing by, so I decided to swing by for a little visit," Preston replied, not wanting to divulge to Lulu the true purpose of his visit. Lulu did not think much about his explanation, as she was simply looking for an opportunity to tease him again. "I see. I thought you had your eyes on someone in our office." Visibly annoyed, Preston rolled his eyes at her. "Aren't there women in my office too? This is just ridiculous. Must I come all the way to Nicole's office for that? Gosh," he thought. So, you have your eyes on someone in your office? Lulu's eyes widened and she smirked, her curiosity growing stronger by the minute. Taken aback by Lulu's continued prodding, he argued, "Hold up. Did I say that? What he meant to say was, do I have to like someone to visit a certain place?" Hee hee. Lulu laughed, as she was just messing around, unlike Preston, who had taken it seriously. "How's your business coming along?" Nicole casually asked. After flashing her a confident smile, he replied, "Everything's fine. We're progressing just fine." Hearing that coming from Preston gave her a sense of relief. "That's good. Don't worry. I'm doing well now. I'll be able to handle whatever tasks you throw at me without sacrificing time dedicated to the development of the company." Preston replied, before giving her a beaming smile. Nicole returned his smile without offering any further commentary. She would be happy as long as the tasks she had assigned him did not affect the company. "Oh right. I got wind that Jared returned to Johnston Group today. Was there something important for him to do? I'm just wondering if it's all right for him to show up at a time like this." Preston asked out of worry. Jared's appearance at Emery's wedding was not known to many, so it was safe to assume that things were still under his control. If he paid a sudden visit to his company, however, it would be difficult for him to escape being noticed by an employee or a member of the public. There is indeed something going on. But it's fine. He did use the main entrance, so I don't think anyone saw him. Nicole explained. "That's good." Preston sighed in relief. The moment the waiter had served them their orders, the three of them dug in and chatted away. After they were done with their meals, they got up and left the restaurant, with Preston heading back to his company and the duo of Nicole and Lulu returning to Riddle Corporation. There hasn't been any movement on Damien's end. "Do you think he's waiting for something or someone?" Lulu asked, hazarding a guess.
If you have enjoyed this story, please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.